So the other topic for today is the education system in India giving more emphasis, placing more emphasis on information rather than knowledge.
I think this has to do with the primary and secondary education which is being followed in India. There has to be reforms which suit Indian people, which suit Indian knowledge system, and only then. It should start from the basics and not from the university level.
Exactly, like what is information and what is knowledge. Information is something that is based on facts, and knowledge is something that is a skill that can be said as a skill, which is acquired through experience. So I think that I would like to point out here that the semester system or the examination system which we are having in the country just now, it is just focused that what the student can cram inside the head and what they can vomit in the examination paper, and that's all.
So are we looking at what incentive less? Are we looking at an incentive less education? To me, I would even say that even asking where mean median is used is also not the right way. So our education, let me put it this way, the learning that we should have should not be incentive based, which means that we must not learn something only because it is going to be questioned. So, and that is the premise of, that is the basis of having a discussion, I guess.
Would like to highlight on one more point. I strongly feel that our education system, both in school level and college level, is confined to a classroom. Like, we don't really go out, we don't really touch things. Like, our system lacks human interaction. This is the main reason why even meritorious students are not employable. This is the reason why the concept of finishing schools are coming up in most of the countries. So, the reason, like, even when finishing schools are coming up, so there is something fundamentally wrong with the education system, and it needs a change. It should be more of practical applications, and human interaction should be more basically.
So we have been speaking quite a bit about what exactly is the issues with the our current education system, but there are a lot of factors why it is this way. There are a lot of factors why it is so what do you say? It doesn't respond to changes easily. One is, I study in a school where there are 50 students in a classroom. One teacher, 50 students, that's a horrible student-teacher ratio. So, India is a crowded country. Everyone realizes that. And what do you say? There are a lot of issues, infrastructural and a mindset too, where people now have entered this rat race. So many people, limited jobs, people now have to do it by excelling in the system we are at, rather than thinking about how I can be out of the system. Because you think if people are there who feel like if they get out of the system they'll learn better, but in the end when they come and see, and people hire companies hire people based on their CPI and based on how well they did their electrical course if you're a chemical engineer also. So all these things, this is a structure that is done because and this is a structure which cannot be changed easily, which cannot be changed in one day, in 1 year, in a decade, because these are deep-rooted problems in our society. These are things which are too rigid to disturb. We should definitely try to change it. CBSE brought out the CC program, and there were changes. So these are things which are appreciated and which needs to go on. And if
I wonder, so even more fundamental than the education system, what needs to change is our society. Mothers and fathers, don't stop your sons from asking questions. Mothers and fathers, don't stop your daughters from going out, from exploring the world, from asking questions, from meeting new people. When you are doing that, you're stifling their curiosity, and if you're going to stifle someone's curiosity, you're going to place an emphasis on information rather than on knowledge. If you have the curiosity, because people criticize the Americans on a lot of levels, but the Americans do one thing right. They give their sons and daughters freedom. They give their sons and daughters the freedom to ask questions. They give them freedom to be curious. If you're not going to let them be curious, they're not going to have a love for knowledge. And unless we're not going to have a love for knowledge, the country is not going to go ahead. It's going to stay where it is, and we are going to fall back.
So I would like to add one more thing. Okay, so the thing is, everyone agrees with this because we have all been through the system. So every one of us agree that there needs to be a change. And like one of our professors told, we are paying money to private institutions to get into a public university. So the thing is, when you make it private, it's like a, it's like a race. Like, so people go on getting marks, just grades, and like you don't actually care. So the society is built up. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, it's
Pay and you get what for what you have paid.
exactly. And as Siddharth and Aditya had told, there needs to be changes like in the mentality of the society also. So education needs to be more skill based rather than giving information. And
Just on a concluding note, that we should have a practical based education system. Practicality should be there. It should not be only theoretical or theory oriented thing. That we should be able to implement it in our lives everywhere, in our personal lives or our professional lives. The education system should be such that we should be able to implement it. And these changes, as my friend rightly said, they cannot be introduced into the system in a year or 2 or 10 years. But we have to continuously work against in this direction so that we can get some fruitful result.